I think it's a very welcoming house. I think it's a very comfortable place to be. And then the word charming just comes out all the time. Just to be charming enough to make people want to pull a book off the bookcase and see what that is, or plop down on a place and be comfortable here at all times. So I think that describes it pretty well.
Hi, this is Kristen Hepp, your real estate agent here in Georgetown, Texas. We are so excited to welcome you to 1264 South Church Street for our very first episode of Historic Georgetown Home Series. I am so excited for you to come in, take a tour, hear the story. This house is beautiful, and I think you're going to love the perfect blend of past, present, and charm, and everything that this house has to offer. So come on in, take a tour, and enjoy.
It's great to know who was here and what things happened and where things were. So I think that makes the house more, it makes you more a part of the house. The house was here before us, it's going to be here after us. We're just caretakers of it as we go through. And so to know those family stories is important. One of the things that we really wanted to do was expand our kitchen. We had a very small kitchen. It was bright and airy because it had windows, but still it was very small. And so we wanted to do something different. This part of the house we were able to extend out. There was a porch that had been the sleeping porch, and so we wanted to even up the back of the house. So I got 10 extra feet here with this fabulous window to look out in the back and the side windows, a bar area where everybody congregates when they come here. I wanted all these open cabinets and I have lots of stuff, and I have colorful dishes, and I wanted to be able to showcase all that and see all that. So it just makes the kitchen truly the heart of the home here. It's where we spend our time. It's the first place you come into. It's that thing that says, welcome home, when you walk in. One of the ways we know, as much as we know, I mean, I can tell you where Grandma kept the cows, what the fig tree was, where they buried the pets, because the first spring that we lived here, a car pulled up with an elderly woman and a young woman, and they stopped in front of the house on 16th, and I said, oh, we just walked over, we were working in the yard. Hi, can we help you? You know, thinking maybe they're lost. And she said, oh no, I'm so sorry, we don't want to bother you. My grandmother lived here, and this is my granddaughter, and I just wanted to show her where it is. I'm so sorry. And we're like, oh no, get out, come in, let's talk. So we became really good friends with some of the family members, some of the descendants of the original family here. So we know it was built as a retirement home for Otto and Louise Carlson. Otto was a Swedish immigrant who came here and married Louise here, and they had a farm out on Rabbit Hill Road and raised their kids there. They were a part of St. John's Church, and St. John's actually moved here from that area, and they wanted to be closer to town and give their oldest son the farmhouse. So we know that they closed on this piece of property late in December of 1912, and that's why we're assuming the house was built in 1913. Otto and Louise moved in. Their youngest son, John, I think John was the oldest son, but one of their sons, I believe it was Albin, went to fight in World War I, and when he came home, they owned all of this property. There's a small house behind us, and that's the house that they built for him when he came home from the war, which is really kind of cool. He never married. So they lived here, and Otto died in what's the office room. That was their bedroom. He died in that room in 1932, was laid out in the parlor. I actually have a copy of his death notice that was sent to people, which is what the tradition was there. And then Louise lived here until 1944, until she died. At that time, the family sold the house, and the next family that moved in is who added the second floor. It was a one-story simple bungalow. And they added the second floor with a separate side entrance that had 2 bedrooms, a living room, a bath, and a kitchen, and rented it out for many years. So different families lived here. One of the Pearl families lived here. Everybody knows Annie Pearl, who was the school teacher. Her father was the sheriff here for a period of time. She never married, but she had nephews. And so the Pearls lived here for several years. The Pearl sons are both football coaches in other parts of the state, and I visited with them and gotten some of their stories about growing up here. And then the Crable family bought it 30 years ago and raised their kids here, and that's who we bought it from. So there's a couple of big chunks of people in that, 107 years. One of the things we thought would be neat was to have lots of built-in bookcases, and our contractor John did a great job with this. And he had a wonderful idea, because we have an office room, of creating a secret door so that we could close off the office room. I don't have it shut all the way right now, but when this is shut all the way, it's a series of bookcases that looks just like the rest of the room. When it opens into the secret room. This room was originally a bedroom, and when we got everything off of the walls, these are what the walls look like. Absolutely beautiful, so we decided to just leave it. This is an office where Dale and I can both work, where the cats can hang out. Obviously he has his TV. Cool feature of the room is the door that used to lead into the hallway. Now that's all covered up, so it's just a door to nowhere, but it's kind of cool to have it in here. We love features like that make the room special. The house has a fireplace. What we see in the other room, it was a Sears kit fireplace, so the chimney was built here. Well, when we go upstairs, we'll see that they added on to the house. They built a second story in the 40s after the original family had died and several other people owned the house for the next 20 years. And so they added on to this. We exposed it because I just think it is a neat looking feature. And upstairs, when you see that, there's different brick. So they didn't use the same kind of brick. If you see the chimney outside the house, you'll see a dark red brick, and it's just attached on upstairs, where we exposed it there as well. This area was a hotbed of activity 15,000 years ago with the native peoples that were here then. Williamson County, the Galt site that's here, this is nothing new. It's been going on for 15,000 years. You know, people have flocked to this area because it's a great place to be. So we've got to manage it, we've got to watch it, we've got to help it, we've got to preserve it. It's a part of who we are in Georgetown, and we're all responsible for doing that. When you walk that square, you are walking in the footsteps of people who were amazing, that did amazing things here. So I feel the same way about living in a house. It's a past that's important, not just to honor the past, but that's how we got to where we are. And so to live in a house like this and be able to redo it and do some things that make it more livable for today's time, because it's tough when you had two tiny, I mean, a family could not have lived in this house with two tiny little bathrooms and things like that. So you have to make it livable. You have to make the past something that draws itself to today. And I think that's what we've been able to do here, but that's that whole idea of these historic houses. This is probably my very favorite place to be. Although as a working girl, I don't get to be here nearly as much as I'd like to. But you've got a window on the world right here. It's like a tree house. Springtime and summer are absolutely fabulous. Nobody can see in. Now nobody can really see in, but you can see everything out here. Last spring, to watch the flowering trees and things outside through these windows was just amazing. But it truly feels special every morning to wake up and be right here with all this openness and light, and it's just a beautiful area to be. So one of those things that makes the house so comfortable. The cats love to lay here in the window with the sun coming in. It's just a great place. So I think to live in a house where we know the history of that family and who they were and what they did and what impact they had on this community is a responsibility that we have to future generations. So it means a lot to us. Sometimes, my mother always wanted to live in an old house when I was growing up, and we never did. And so for me to have that connects to my past as well. As I said, I'm a sixth generation native Texan with family here from the 1830s. And so it's my story, and it's something to share with everybody else. It's all of our stories that are here. So that's what we want to do with this house, is be able to share those stories of the past and who those people were.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope that you enjoyed this home as much as we did. And again, I'm Kristen, your real estate agent here in Georgetown, and we can't wait to show you episode 2 of Historic Georgetown Home Series. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.